This morning, the I-Team is taking us on a strange trip into the world of tarot cards, fortune telling, and telephone psychics standing by to take your call.
Yeah, that sounds like a flashback to an infomercial from the 90s. You guessed it. People here in South Florida are still talking about when our state attorney, Dave Aronberg, set out to expose the infamous phone psychic Miss Cleo as a fraud.
But right now, our chief investigator, Mike Magnolia, here with a story about the Psychic Readers Network before Miss Cleo.
Good morning, everybody. That's right. Before Miss Cleo, Detective Ricardo Tubbs from Miami Vice, whose real name is Phillip Michael Thomas, was the face of the franchise. And we found a guy who got involved in the Psychic Readers Network at the ground floor. And as you're going to hear, he was just making things up out of thin air the whole time.
The response to the network has been incredible. It's exactly as you predicted.
This is just the beginning. I see you helping more and more people every day.
In 1994, this infomercial was running non-stop on late-night TV, and a Fort Lauderdale company was making millions, charging the folks by the minute to call in for psychic insights into their problems. So many people were calling in, the company needed more phone psychics, and fast. So they placed job ads in major newspapers all over the country, targeting alternative types and artists.
I think there was a telephone number to call, and I gave my address, and they sent me an application.
Freelance writer Harmon Leon was living in San Francisco at the time, and his idea was to infiltrate the Psychic Readers Network and expose it. He was confident that would be a scoop, and he could sell it to the highest bidder. His first step was to create a mystical persona for himself.
I went by the handle The Great Shamu.
Talk about predicting the future. The Great Shamu had remote work decades before the pandemic. Psychic hotline calls were routed to Harmon's home in the Bay Area. Did you use tarot cards or any other accessory in this, or were you just spitballing?
I used what I call magic tequila. The thing is, it's just sort of like a parlor trick where you just say the most vaguest thing possible and leave it to them to interpret. You would say things like, I see the number 3. Something's going to happen to you in either 3 days or 3 months. And then you turn the tables and go, tell me what that is.
It was $5 a minute. I mean, complete ripoff.
Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Aronberg was an assistant state attorney general during the heyday of the psychic hotlines. And since the Psychic Readers Network parent company was based in South Florida, he went after them.
These commercials ran intentionally, late at night, especially on weekends. They were targeting the lonely, and they plied them with ads that said, we're for real, call us. We're real psychics. And they teased that they could make these individuals' lives better. And it was a lie. It was a fraud.
Phillip Michael Thomas had a falling out with the company. That left the door open for Miss Cleo.
Call me now for your free tarot reading.
And while that company is long gone, peering into the mists of the future and untangling the psychic puzzles of the present, that's still big business.
There can be fraud in everything. So you have to look at the person that you're interacting with and first ask your own gut feeling. Do I trust them? Do I feel aligned with them?
West Palm Beach radio personality Sarah Spiritual has been working in this realm for 17 years.
I am an empath, I'm a medium, I'm a spiritual advisor, and I have some healing energy that runs through me.
In addition to her program Spiritually Speaking, Sarah runs a shop and she takes appointments at her center on Okeechobee Boulevard.
There will always be a stigma. There will always be a stigma because many people don't believe it's possible that you can access the realms of the higher realms and bring information to someone.
Sarah's process for accessing those secrets involves looking up, literally, and putting pen to paper. She says these lines and scribbles help her to interpret the messages she's receiving from her spirit guides and loved ones who have passed on. Sometimes the cards help her focus as well. Sarah clearly remembers the day she told her family and friends about her career plans changing.
And they said, what do you mean you're going to give readings? You mean like Miss Cleo? And I laughed and I said, no, not like Miss Cleo. I'm going to access the information. I'm going to assist people on their path.
I think people are really good at, say, as they are at magic tricks. So there are people that are really good at doing it to appear like they're a psychic, much like when you see a magician, pulling a dove out of thin air. They're really good at doing that. Are they really pulling a dove out of thin air? No.
I never tried to demean those who claim to be real psychics. I don't know what a real psychic is, and I'm not one to say that they don't exist. What I was trying to do was to go after a clear fraud. Because when this company sought employees, they never even advertised psychics wanted. They advertised telemarketers wanted.
The interviews for this story are a trip. You can see my full conversations with Dave Aronberg, with Sarah Spiritual, and the great Shamu on CBS12.com. Back over to you.